Live on the Sherry Lord Talk Show podcast. Start your day off with a higher vibrational podcast with weekly guests covering spirituality, healthy foods, and so much more. Go to sherrylord.com for more info. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. Wow, I'm your influencer host, Sherry Lord, and we're so excited to be here with you today. And we're going to bring on a very special guest. We're going to introduce her in just a few minutes. She is amazing, and you guys are going to love her. She's been on our show before. Her name is Kristi Borst, and we're going to talk a little bit about her in just a few minutes. But what I'd like to announce is that we just want to thank you for watching us. And if you get a chance, make sure you chat. If you like my new hat, let me know. This is the new one. And also, we have a wonderful topic here. And what we want to say is we also have paid advertisement. So if you want to promote yourself or promote your products, please go to sherrylord.com/podcast. All the information is there. We have very reasonable prices, so we'd love to have you on our show and also love to advertise you at the same time. We just want to say welcome, Kristi. Kristi, we're so happy to have you back. And her topic today is going to be awesome. You don't want to miss this. It's Empower Your Vibe to Thrive. Everybody can use a boost here. We all can use it. And what I would like to say a little bit about it, she's also an author, and we're going to be showing her books today. So Kristi, in 2013, opened her HealingResonanceLlc ministry, offering her own multidimensional healing and empowerment process she calls Perspective Reboot. Kristi shares sessions may include physical, mental, emotional, and or spiritual healing with a focus on inner child, reconnection, chakras, energy realignments, ancestral repatterning, karmic release, and soul empowerment. Her own path and myriad client sessions have shown Kristi that we each give up bits and pieces of ourselves on our journey. We readily toss aside the magic and wonder of childhood, not knowing the true cost of what we're surrendering. All things remain hidden in the shadows of self-doubt, abuse, trauma, surviving conditional love, and fitness. Join us as Kristi offers insight in this unique moments of power within our free will awareness, the power of choice, the power of change, and our time is now. We're going to be running this on the bottom so that everybody who's watching can also contact her. Her information is there as well. Welcome, Kristi. We're so happy to have you back on our show.
Hi, Sherry. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us, whether you're here with us in real time or watching this in replay. Happy to share.
Yeah, please make sure you chat. Just say hello. Let us know you're here and come join the conversation. We'll answer your questions as well. So, Kristi, I really love your topic, Empower Your Vibe to Thrive. So you had a description with it. Can you kind of describe what we're going to be covering today in our topic?
Sure. I feel like through my own experience and through working with clients over the past 11 years now, that we all come in here knowing what our kind of purpose is and really knowing our divine essence, but just, the things that we live through, society, our cultures, they can kind of dim down our light and almost cause us to hide our light in various ways, really in many ways unconsciously. So I think we're in this unique time now where we can be a bit more introspective and to understand and explore ways that we are actually shutting ourselves down, actually not looking at our wounds, hiding our wounds. And there's an awesome quote that was kind of life-changing for me by the philosopher Rumi, which says that the wound is the place where the light enters us. And if you think about that, if you're hiding your wounding, or if you're saying that, you can't do this or you can't do that, you're missing that opportunity to dive into the whys, WHY,
Yep.
dive into the whys and understand the why of why you think that.
Right.
Sorry, I just got a little distracted by the chat there.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So this plays out for people in many different ways. As a psychic, I'm sure you've had some situations where people don't believe that you can do this, or maybe they told you not to do it. That certainly was the case for me. I was in alignment with my healing abilities when I was a small child, but I was told I couldn't do that. And I understand now that that was in perfect alignment with my path and my unfoldment, if you will. But many times when these things happen and we don't have that kind of higher self-awareness, we think that that is truth. And we are awakening to a greater truth of all that we are and all that we can become. So through this this chapter I wrote called The Vibe to Thrive in a recent book called Unmuted Voices, I kind of share how the shoulds that I was served as a child molded me further and further away from who I am now and who I believe I came here to be. And it wasn't really until I saw like the patterns, or I saw the wound, if you will, that, you know, my particular wound was I cannot be myself, or I'm not accepted by my family. And it's really kind of the opposite of that. I can be myself even though I'm not accepted by my family. And as I started to shift more to that other perspective, things started opening up for me. So this is kind of an illustration of how we have to look at what the belief is. And I like to share this visual about belief, because there are lies many times in the things that we hold as beliefs. They're not necessarily truths, they're beliefs. So we have to be aware and self-monitoring, if you will, because that's where our power is, in that moment of discernment.
Yeah. No, that's very good. A lot of people can relate to that. Everyone's had their own experience with this, and you help them come back, or to heal it back into center or reclaim their power, is what it sounds like to me, what it felt like to me.
And I think another way to look at it is that if you look at these things that you've been told, you know, you can't be, or you can't do, or conversely, what you should be or what you should do, they're almost like a challenge for you, or a setup of like a hide and seek game, in a way of what your soul is kind of playing here in this reality. But ultimately, you are the master of your life and the master of your path to a great extent, as you become aware of where you're limiting yourself. So that sense of saying, well, for example, I had a conversation with a friend the other day. I've been doing a painting. I was doing a landscape painting of some birch trees. And my friend said, "Oh, I wish you could paint like that. I wish I could paint like that." And I said, "You can paint like that. It may take practice, and it may take, you know, some instruction, but you can't right now because you believe that you can't."
Right.
So the vibe to thrive comes when we challenge what we're believing and asking if this is really truth, or if it's a belief with a lie in it.
Yep. Yeah, it's illuminating it with the light of truth, of who you truly are and what you're capable of beyond what you even imagine. It's so much bigger than that.
And
Believing is important. Yeah. What were you saying, Kristi?
Sorry, I just was going to say a big question to ask is this idea about myself taking me toward my joy or taking me away from my joy?
Right.
And if it's taking you away from your joy, and you may have been doing that unconsciously for many, many years, when you can see it and evaluate it and become aware of it, good morning, Kathy, then you can start to question it. And when you question it and kind of take yourself off that autopilot mode, suddenly you see new choices. And this is why I like to say there's always choices hidden in plain sight.
Yeah.
We have to look for them.
Yeah, I think joy, and you can choose joy, but if something is still there, not vibrating with it, there is a belief that you hold, and if you just look at it, you can shift that and put a new belief in place. Absolutely. And thank you, Kathy. Yay, for joining us. You can ask a question if you like. Yeah, so I believe that the empower your vibe to thrive is very important when you claim your power back. And you talk about claiming your power back as well.
Yes.
So I think claiming your power back, not letting others dictate who you are, you know what I'm saying, but being aware of it, not, aligning with it, but just being aware, and you choose. And I like that in your little thing that you choose. I like that a lot. I think that is very, very important, that you have the power always to decide what you choose. And I think that is very, very, very important. Mm-hmm.
And I think too that we're always choosing.
Yeah, and every moment.
Even not choosing is a choice. So
yes, it is.
living in conscious awareness basically means that in a very non-judgmental way, in a very questioning, a very inquisitive mind way.
Yeah.
We're watching ourselves and really observing, why are we choosing different things?
Yep.
Or especially the things that don't lead us toward joy. I'd like to speak just a moment, Sherry, about the wound and how we tend to want to hide our wounds or push them down. And the thing that I have found really kind of counterintuitive almost is that when we do look at our wounds, again, these are the places where, sometimes those beliefs are held. When we really look at those and we start to kind of see the untruth within them, and we can release those,
right.
This is when we really can start to hold more light within ourselves, because we're not so bogged down by what isn't really truth. I'm trying to think if I can give you an example of that. Well, the thing that's coming to me really is that in most sessions that I have with people, they immediately notice that they feel lighter, like physically lighter. And this is because emotions, thoughts, and beliefs that are not in alignment with your path, they're heavy. I almost see them as, we can have this backpack on of stuff that we're carrying behind us. So again, until we're aware of it and we start to empower ourselves to look at it, decide, is it serving us? Is it not serving us? Hi, Lynn. Thanks for joining us. And thank you, those who are watching in replay. I think it's really important just to use the power of now. A lot of these phrases, they're almost overused and cliche, but there's so much power within being aware, within exercising our ability to make choices that take us toward joy. I've found that as humans, we have this tendency, and I think it's somewhat programmed from our media, to, imagine you have a pie, whatever flavor pie you like, and you have it out on the counter, and you come back in 15 minutes and there's a piece gone. You're going to be so focused on that piece of pie that's gone that you forget that you have, 15 other pieces in that pie. So a lot of the Vibe to Thrive mentality is starting to look at the abundance rather than the lack. Start to retrain yourself from looking at lack.
That's true. That is so true. It is easy you got to watch your focus, and what's drawing you to that, and we've all done that. We've all been there, but you have the power to shift that, and you have the power to refocus that at the same time. Is there any tools? Let's say somebody's in a situation. Can you give us some more examples of some of your clients of something that had happened? We're not saying any names or anything. How did she shift it? How did he shift it? How did they shift it? I mean, just a little tool for people when they're at home and they're faced with something that they're aware of, and they see what's happening, and they're just observing, Okay. So how do they move forward when they know something's not right?
Okay. I'd love to do a little exercise with everyone at this point. And, if you're live with me, if you're on replay, it really doesn't matter, because time and this energy work, they get all bendy, and, it's here to serve our highest good. Excuse me. So what I would like to invite everyone to do is just, take a breath and just close your eyes and just imagine that we are, here together. There's really no distance between us because we are connected. And just place your hand on your heart, and I'm going to place my hand on my heart, on your heart, on our hearts. And, think of that situation and maybe look at it, if it happened to you as a child. As children, we tend to think that things are our fault. But, whatever that situation was, maybe look at the situation with adult eyes, knowing that, your parents loved you. They were doing what they thought to protect you. Sometimes what happens in these woundings is, as I mentioned before, sometimes we're kind of waylaid from our path so that we can find our greatness at a later point in our lives. So I would like you to say to that, younger self, I love you. I forgive you. Please forgive me. That's not the truth of who you are. Take another deep breath. We can do this even through other time-space realities to other lifetimes, just saying it's time to let this burden go. That's not the truth of who you are, and let yourself imagine you're creating space within yourself to hold more of your divine self essence in this now. And just let that continue to vibe with you as we continue this and as the days go forward. The example that's coming to mind, Sherry, is I recently had a session with a woman who was the youngest of 3 children. The sisters seemed like they could do everything, and she couldn't because, of course, she was younger. And she actually vocalized for the first time in one of our sessions that she unconsciously felt that her dad didn't love her. And as an adult, she could finally see that belief that she had been holding, which really, affected her relationships with everyone else in her family, her relationship with her husband, but more importantly, her relationship with herself. So we've got to kind of look at why things feel off to us. What is that kind of root wound that we've been carrying that it's time to let go of, so that we can step more fully on to, first of all, like vibing in a happy, healthy way, but also to be living in that space where we're vibing, healthy and happy. It's really win-win.
And you feel better too. I mean, I had a shift happen through this. Thank you for sharing this and with our audience and all who watch this or rewatch this. It's wonderful. Hi, Len. Saying hello to everybody. And, we know we have a lot of people watching. We just love it when you chat or say hello or say hi. And Kristi, is there anything else you'd like to share? Because I want to talk about your books as well.
I think that what it's particularly helpful to watch yourself for is listen when you say, I can't do that. I should go to this thing. I wish I could. These are clues for you of things that you're currently, executing that maybe you need to look at, and you can start to shift in a different direction. I know for me personally, I was raised with a lot of shoulds, and that robbed me of my own ability to know what I wanted, because I was always responding to other people's demands on me. So again, it's not until we see these things that we can shift them. So be the loving, conscious observer of yourself. You're here to, live life through and as yourself. And the only one really you can change is yourself, but the world changes when you do change. Hi, Beth.
Yes. Hello, everybody, and hi, everyone. That was a really awesome technique that you shared with us, and I'm sure others will watch this again and maybe do it again, or those who are first time watching it will use it in their life. It was amazing. It really did help. I know I felt the shift, and I'm sure many will as well. What I would like to also talk about is we have really good tools and techniques. So I think this technique is a good one to make people aware so they can empower themselves and move forward in their life instead of carrying that energy or that vibration with them, that they can dissolve that and have more joy in their life. This is a very good topic, and you've just been amazing. Can we like to bring up some of your books? I really want to talk about your books. So I'm going to bring up, I'm looking for the banners, the brands. Here we go. We want to bring up, you are an author, and we really want to share this. Here's one book that I have of yours, and it's called Unmuted Voices. And tell us a little bit about the book, how this got started, and how can people get a hold of it? How can they purchase it?
So this is actually an anthology book. It's the publisher is Marianne Pack, and then there's our 12 of us that wrote chapters about various ways that our voices were muted in our lifetimes and how we shifted that. And my chapter is called The Vibe to Thrive, which talks about those patterns of manipulation, control, abuse that can happen in dysfunctional families, and how I eventually, reached that point of rejecting a lot of that programming and finding this part of myself. And each of these chapters includes exercises. This book is available on Amazon as digital or a physical book. I do sell the physical book through my website, signed. And people that buy that from me, I include the unedited exercises. I had like 3 pages of exercises, and I had to cut them down for the publication.
Well, and how can they go to your site? What is this name of your site?
It's releaseyourblocks.com is the one I'm using for your podcast, Sherry. So that'll go to a page, and then Unmuted Voices is one of the choices in the navigation.
And you also have another book. We're going to bring that one down, and we're going to have you bring that book up because I couldn't find it on my computer, but it's Be the Beacon.
So this was the first anthology that I participated in. And in this one, my chapter is called This Little Light of Mine. And it talks about or I talk about what happened for me in my early 50s when Spirit was saying to me, like, there's something more you're supposed to be doing. And just the whole kind of spiritual awakening I had to remembering a truer version of myself and finding my wounds and healing them through a process that I now call Perspective Reboot. This is what my hour-long sessions are called, Perspective Reboot, because many times people do have, these life-changing shifts of awareness of their own power. Again, that one is available on Amazon or through me, through my website, releaseyourblocks.com.
Absolutely. And can you kind of explain to everybody what else you offer? I know that you have a technique. Do you do readings? What do you offer?
So the main thing that I do with people is hour-long sessions I call Perspective Reboot, which addresses people's emotional well-being as well as physical well-being. I work with the chakras. I work with stuck energy. I'm able to get messages from spirit about different incidences that have happened to allow the person to heal that incident and let some of that density go. I am almost like a medical emotional intuitive. So if somebody has a physical problem, Spirit shares with me what the sometimes unconscious belief is that's blocking the body from healing itself. I offer that as, part of the Perspective Reboot sessions and also as half-hour readings with people. I do offer post-op healing acceleration sessions and a catalog of pre-recorded 1-hour chakra sessions focusing on just each of the chakras. Plus I have one for breast wellness, inner peace, or stress in the shoulder area. So that's all available through my site.
That's amazing.
I have myriad like free stuff too. I write a blog which has, uplifting and self-awareness type articles so that people can find their power, because we are really lifting one another.
Absolutely, we are. You have just been a joy on our podcast. We'll definitely have you back on our podcast. We love having you. You give great insights and tools for people to move forward in their life, and that is important. Can you let people know where you're from? Because not everybody knows where my guests are from. I have guests from all over the world, and I really want people to know where you're from. So let people know what state you're from and what county or where you're at.
Okay. So I live in Wells, Maine, which is about an hour and a half north of Boston. I see people there in my home, and I also do work over Zoom. And I also do seasonal spiritual retreats at a lake home that we offer. I've just opened the calendar for those.
Good for you.
That might be something people are interested in.
Yeah. And again, how can they get a hold of you? Those who are watching?
Releaseyourblocks.com. And also my social media handle is the name of my business, Healing Resonance LLC. So I'm on Facebook and Instagram with that, and YouTube.
Yeah, I
as
know
well.
you're on Facebook and you're on Instagram. Are you on LinkedIn at all? Or you're on
Yes,
Instagram?
I am.
Is
Yes.
it under the same title? And what's that title again? So people can find you?
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, that'll help people. There you go. They can go there. They'll remember it if it's on the chat.
Yeah. So it's Healing Resonance LLC. I think the only place that's different, Sherry, is on Twitter. That one's under my name, Kristi Borst.
Oh, that's great. This way people can get a hold of you and they know how to get a hold of you. We definitely will have you back on our show. We love having you. You've been a blessing and blessing all the people who are watching in our audience to experience you as well. And what I like to say is we also, we can also link from her site from our website, www.sherrylord.com. /podcast. We have her information there. We have her book. So if you kind of get lost, can't find it, just click on that and you can check out our upcoming guests that we have weekly. And if you want to be a guest on our show, you can still go to sherrylord.com /podcast. All the information is there. And we'd love to have you on our show. Thank you, Kristi, so much. And we just want to bless everyone and thank everyone for watching us, and have an amazing day and a blessed, prosperous journey.